Brittany's narcissistic family breakdown. Hello and welcome to Queendom TV, and thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe and comment if you're enjoying my content. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love for you to join the tribe if you're feeling the vibe. So let's get straight into it. Basically, I'm going to be talking about Brittany's narcissistic family. I was inspired for this video by another gentleman who I hope I'm going to remember to actually tag in the description. He did a video basically talking about how this narcissistic family idea works with Britney Spears in families. Specifically, he was talking about Britney Spears, and I kind of wanted to delve just a little bit deeper into it because I think it's something that's worth shedding more light to. And if I do forget to tag him, by the way, please, if you notice that, please just let me know in the comments and I'll do that just in case, because I do really want to make sure he gets his credit. But the importance of us addressing this narcissistic family thing, I think this is something that's very common in Hollywood. And I think this is why the Team Con people and so many people are trying so hard to hide everything going on with Britney, because I think that she's definitely not the only person who's in this kind of predicament. We've heard murmurs, rumors, we've seen evidence of that in other people, and I'll also be covering that on my channel as well. I've already started to cover about Amanda Bynes. I'm going to be getting into, you know, Charlie D'Amelio as well, and plenty of other people I'm going to be talking about on my channel. Stay tuned for that. But most importantly, I think we have to acknowledge that there is a narcissistic element to this. Unfortunately, family is supposed to be some people that you trust, people that you would trust your wealth with, you would trust your life with, you would trust to make decisions for you based on your health and all of that. And we're just learning more and more that that's just not a reality. And I think it's not a reality for a lot of these celebrities, and I think it's also not a reality for a lot of just normal everyday people going through things. And I think, you know, I wanted to kind of deal with this concept of people being demons disguised as an angel of light. And the Bible talks about, you know, the enemy comes disguised as an angel of light. And basically what that means is, you know, like when people talk about if you think of like the devil, right, let's go deep with it, right? If you think about the devil, you instantly probably think of like a red scary looking dude with horns, but actually the Bible tells us is that the enemy comes disguised as an angel of light. So it probably comes looking good, looking like they're trying to help you. And the reason why I think this links in with Britney Spears specifically and her narcissistic family is because a lot of what they do have done on the media and otherwise is they say stuff like, oh, we're just looking out for her well-being, we just need to protect the children, we just want to help, you know, it's all of this, we just want to help, we just want to look after, right? So they're disguising themselves as these angels of light, these caring, loving beings, when in reality we're discovering, it's becoming exposed more and more how much this is just absolutely not the case. And I mean, even if you just look at historically, they've said that she got in the conservatorship, and I don't know if people know this, and I hope I keep remembering to say this. She's under this conservatorship for dementia, like dementia as in dementia that a lot of the time a lot older people get, and they struggle with things like memory and stuff, but they're saying that she's got dementia, but then at the same time she's performing a residency in Las Vegas and teaching her own dancers choreography, and you're trying to say she's got dementia. How does that work? And that was years into the conservatorship that was happening. And so I think it's really important that we address her family as a narcissistic family, because again, narcissists, from my understanding, by the way, I'm by no stretch a psychology expert as far as you know, qualifications and people are concerned, but as far as being somebody that cares about people, as far as being somebody that knows God and tries to live by, you know, his principles, I think it's very clear that narcissists a lot of the time are very charming people, very persuasive. This is what I've heard actual experts say, very charismatic. A lot of the time you can be in any type of relationship with a narcissistic kind of person and not even realize that they're a narcissist. And I think this is why there's a lot of people in relationships, in family relationships, where they might feel like, oh, you know what, this person loves me, or I love this person loves me and I love this person. It could be, you know, a parent, a sibling, a house, I'm going to say a spouse, a friend. But for some reason, you know that you just don't feel good about yourself around that person. And I think this is also another trait I'm starting to see as common in in experts who talk about narcissists, what they talk about. And the reason why I mentioned that is because obviously when it comes to Britney, you know, the further back you look, I mean, I was looking at an interview with Lou M. Taylor, which if you don't know who Lou M. Taylor is and what she's got to do with all of this, she's basically a part of the management. I don't know what her exact role was. You know, it doesn't really matter. The fact is she had way too much power and way too much say and had way too much to gain out of this conservatorship. Let's just leave it at that. But I was watching and she was kind of trying to talk about how, you know, the family, what was it, they praying about this, and they just hope that people are praying for the family because they're all good people. Like she's saying, she specifically mentioned Jamie, and everyone's saying they're all good people. And again, it's this idea that when, and as was mentioned in the video that I'm going to tag in here at the bottom, and I'm so annoyed that I can't remember the guy's name, but you know, a lot of the time what narcissists will do is they'll make the people who are what he was referring to as the scapegoat, which I believe is Britney Spears, the scapegoat often being somebody that has a lot to offer the narcissistic person, and therefore end up in that dynamic tend to be more people pleasers as well. So the scapegoats can tend to be people pleasers. They tend to have a lot to bring to the table, and so they form this kind of bond with the narcissist, where the narcissist wants to kind of take control over the scapegoat, but then the scapegoat is actually the one who's kind of bringing a lot to the table, even a lot more than everybody else to the table. But then also as a, and that's as a people pleaser, they want to do that. Then I think there's also an element of, because they do have a lower self-esteem because of the people around them using their weaknesses against them and things like that, they don't maybe see themselves as highly as they do, and then they form also a codependency with that person, and then they feel like they need to depend on them. And I think for Britney, from very early on, before this conservatorship, I think she started to, and this is just me speculating, by the way, this is allegedly, these are my thoughts and opinions, but I think from very, very early on, she started to feel as though she wanted to take that control back. And I think she started to see through the cracks, and that, you know, this wasn't just, you know, a family business where, you know, as her brother coined it, where she was, yes, she was the talent, and yes, she was creating jobs for everybody, and that's fine, as long as people's boundaries are being respected. But more, they were taking it to that next higher level where she was being abused and wasn't being able to do what she wanted to do. I mean, for example, I think it was Tish, her head of wardrobe, told a story in, I think, the Hulu documentary about how Britney, they wouldn't even allow Britney to buy Skechers for herself. And I mean, that's absolutely crazy. This millionaire Britney Spears is not allowed to buy Skechers for herself, you know. And so again, you have that. Then on the flip side, you have somebody like Lou M. Taylor, who tried to say stuff like, you know, and this is back towards the beginning, how, you know, James has his own job where he works doing so and so and so and so, you know, to try and make him this lovely person. And so when you have these narcissists, I think they make it, it's very easy for them to assert, and I believe primarily that Jamie Spears, the dad James, is the probably the top tier narcissist in the agreement. And then you have, as also mentioned in the video that I'm gonna tag below, you have, I think he called the flying monkeys, which tends to be like the siblings of the scapegoat, where they try to kind of jump in and kind of benefit also off of that scapegoat, but then they also kind of don't want to challenge the narcissist as well, maybe. And so maybe there's a bit of that with the siblings, because obviously you've got Brian, who was the business manager. He was very much involved in the financial part of it. So I mean, that's definitely something that would benefit the narcissistic person, because obviously he's got his son on board, and that son is probably feeling good about, you know, that natural relationship you want to have with your parents. Again, something that's not supposed to be used against you, but I feel like is being used against Britney. And then you've got Jamie Lynn, who again, she seems to have, first of all, her name's Jamie Lynn, which for me always sticks out, the fact that she, of all the siblings, is Jamie Lynn, with the parents' two names again, and she's a little bit younger than Britney, I think at least 4 years, you know, or whatever. So again, she is kind of more on the side of the family. And, you know, Brian actually helped to produce Zoe 101, which was another thing that kind of shows that, you know, maybe there was definitely this emphasis on being a family business in Hollywood, but obviously Britney was the one who really blew up. So yeah, so I just thought it's interesting to look at this from the perspective of thinking of this as a narcissistic family, or being run by a narcissistic family, because you can kind of see how somebody like Britney Spears could fall into that. And I think a lot of things, you know, even there's a lot of things she was very ignorant to. You know, she didn't think people would believe her story. I mean, the media was a big issue, and I'm going to talk about the media as well. So you know what, in fact, If you want to hear more about what I have to say about that, then please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting more videos. Please like the video if you liked it. Please write a comment down below. I just think it's really important to address all these different areas of what's going on with Britney, because I think this is not just a one-off. I think this is kind of opening the floodgates to a lot of things that are going on with a lot of people, not just in Hollywood, just in normal life. And so yeah, thank you for watching my video. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time.